Welcome to the Average Nobody's Podcast, the ultimate home for wrestling enthusiasts, beer drinkers, movie quoters, and pop culture connoisseurs. Here are your hosts, Matt and Ryan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Average Nobody's Podcast. My name is Matt Vieira, and here with me is
Ryan Fogarty.
And also
Derek Hewling,
longtime caller, first-time visitor on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. So let's.
Nice to have a special guest.
Yeah, he brought up this big bucket of grapes. I feel like royalty over here.
I gotta feed you guys. It's a long hour.
Except he's gonna have to throw him out the window, Ryan, and see if you can get him from your house.
I'll try.
Send Bumble to fetch them.
Yeah. Oh, they're all gone. He ate them all.
Oh man. So how's it going, everybody?
Not bad. It's thought it was looking good with the weather, but now the rain's coming.
Yep, rain's coming back.
Back again.
I just want to say this. I hate talking about the weather, especially when it's shitty, because it just depresses me. But I was cooking on the grill on Monday with my dad for Memorial Day, and I could see my own breath.
Oh, God.
Like, when I could see my own breath. That's how cold it was.
Very unfortunate.
So.
And, the thing is, I feel like Memorial Day might be the breaking point, where you're like, you know what, it's still kind of cold, it's rainy, whatever, it's still only early May, it's still only mid-May. Okay, tomorrow's June. Yeah. I've hit my breaking point with this cold, rainy weather. Just give me 3 days in a row of sunshine. Is that too much to ask?
We haven't had that, and this is the first, I think last year at this time, we had no rain. There was no rain in sight. We had absolutely no rain all summer, and in a few weeks, we had the beginning of a heat wave. And it looks like that's not coming at all. That'll never come.
I think last year was legally classified as a desert in Rhode Island.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Because of the lack of rain. Yeah. I think we're out of the drought too. I think that's safe to say.
Yeah. So. There's no drought in my basement, that's for sure.
No. Yeah. Oh, listen, I don't even want to talk about water leaking. Me and you will just go into a deep depression, I feel like.
We've
had a rough couple months with the water.
Have you?
How about you, Derek?
I can't say I have.
You're one of the lucky ones. All right, let's get into people watching. So I had an interesting encounter at Cumberland Farms, of all places. Right? Can you believe it? There was some interesting people at Cumberland Farms.
Was he carrying a hot dog?
It was a she, actually.
Oh.
Actually, it was a he and a she. I think it was a couple. They're at the counter, and they have all this prepared food, a bunch of pizza slices, drinks, egg salad sandwiches.
They must be a Cumbies member, huh?
So they're
getting groceries for the week at Cumbies?
It looked like they were just getting little snacks for whatever they were doing. It was very late at night. It was it was almost 11 o'clock. So they're just checking out, and then all of a sudden I couldn't hear what they were doing, but they just kind of stepped aside. And then looked at me and said you can go ahead of me. I don't know if they were waiting for something else to cook or something. But when they stepped aside, they didn't move all the way aside. And I don't know if you guys have been to the Cumberland Farms Killingley Street. There's not a lot of room at the register.
Oh no.
Because they have all this candy and stuff right at the register, so there's nowhere to really stand. So they're standing, but I'm trying to go up there and pay for my stuff, and they're just right next to me. So it's so awkward. It was very, she was basically breathing down my neck. She didn't move all the way out of the way, but she was standing right in front of me, and she just refused to move. It was just such an inconvenient spot to be standing. It was just crazy. I couldn't believe that she wasn't moving. It was so uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for me. Obviously, it wasn't uncomfortable for her. So.
It's if you ever go on vacation anywhere, and yes, I'm going to stereotype, but the Asian tourists do not have any sense of self, any self space. They'll run through you, they'll run over you, they won't get out of the way. It's amazing. It's you'd think you'd just, be oh, someone's coming, I should move, or, or you'll be standing in a spot and they'll literally be right on top of you.
Yeah.
Just I gotta take this picture. Can you not, be spitting on my neck? I mean, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm this has to be uncomfortable for you as well. We're standing so close to each other. And I thought that, she was waiting for me to, pull out my wallet so she could just, reach over and just grab money out of my wallet. That's how close she was standing to me.
So. Did you check your wallet?
I did. I counted it twice afterwards.
How much?
$2.
Okay.
Things aren't well.
That joke would have been on her.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of the Asian tourists, I noticed that when you go to the casino, they definitely both elbows down at the table. They don't let anybody in.
No, they like this. They
the roulette table, forget about it. Full of Asians
go
playing
somewhere else.
roulette. You're not getting on the table for a couple hours.
No, no.
Not at all.
Derek, do you have any people watching stories?
I don't really have any people watching stories, but I have some animal watching stories.
Oh, all right.
So I pulled in my parking spot at work the other day, and as I'm getting out, there's like a trash bin right near me. So I went to open the trash bin to throw something in there, and 3 squirrels shot out.
Jesus.
Scared the hell out of me. I dropped my bag. I dropped everything everywhere. And there's also a lot of turkey sightings on the campus, too, where I work.
They're aggressive.
There's probably about 20 turkeys roaming around.
Don't get remember my Auntie Yola? You used to live near my Auntie Yola?
Yeah.
She got out of her car at a nursing home one time to visit her mother, actually.
Oh.
And my great-grandmother.
Yep.
And she got attacked by a turkey. It, like, shoved her back into her car.
Wow, huh?
Yeah.
Very aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive. So don't go near the turkeys.
Oh, stay away.
Actually, shoved her?
I think the story was she got out of her car and the turkey forced her back into the car, basically.
Yeah, they're very dominant.
Maybe it was mating.
Maybe it was just trying to warn her, like, hey, get back in your car. There's something going on over here.
It's
not safe.
It's not going to be a good Thanksgiving.
It's not safe.
Let's get back in.
It was a good Samaritan turkey.
Yes. Everybody knows the Good Samaritan turkeys.
It wears a sash.
Famous in Rhode Island.
So I went to my friend Phil, who I think both of you know, his 30th birthday party on Monday.
Yes.
And it was honestly, I'm kind of enjoying I think when you reach a certain age, like his was 30, your birthday parties almost go back to when you were young, because it's a mix of friends and family. Yeah. Where when you're getting in your 20s, like your 21st birthday, you're not going to see Auntie Sue and Uncle Billy. You're going to be out with your friends, drinking at the bar. But now that you're getting older, it goes back to the mix of family and friends. And I haven't seen his grandmother in probably, well, actually I saw her a couple weeks ago, but before that I hadn't seen her in 15 years. And it's the same thing every time. Knows who I am, but doesn't know who I am. Knows my sister. Just oh, you're, they're Phil's mom would be like, oh, it's Maureen and Jean's son. They're like, Kelsey's brother? It's yeah, kind of the same thing, but yeah. I guess if that's how you have to describe it, that's me. But it's just, I don't know. I thought it was funny how it kind of regresses back.
I never really thought of that, but that totally makes sense. You're right. When you turn 20, it's it's the 20s, I think. It's like 18, 19, 20, you start having birthdays on your own with your friends, like you're at college or whatever. And when you're younger, you have the whole family over and some of your friends, and I think then it goes back to that mix.
It does.
And then I think eventually once you get very old, your friends start, not for lack of a better word, dying off. And it's just and it's just your family. So birthdays go through odd evolution.
They do. And something else happened to me. Not happened to me, but I observed something else at the party. But I was thinking about it the past couple of days, and there's no way I'm going to be able to say it nicely or anything like that. So I'm just not going to talk about it. We'll talk about it a different time.
Okay.
I was trying to figure, phrase it in my head how I wanted to. I'm like, it's just going to come off terrible. So.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, that's it for people watching. So Derek texted me a little while ago, and he sent me this hilarious story it was up on Barstool Sports, but it's this story that's going
amazing.
around. Yeah. So Derek, you want to talk about this a little bit?
Yeah.
So 19 members of the, how do you say that last name?
Lucchese
mob family were arrested today, and they have a list of the people's names that got arrested and their aliases within the mob. So, Derek, you want to go through and read through some of these?
So I'm going to read through some of these right here. Here we go. First mobster up there, nicknamed Wonder Boy. God only knows what he did for that family. Next up, Big John. He's probably the most strongest guy in that family, but not the smartest.
Big John does sound like a strong name.
Next up, Tino. Probably a slick cat, but who knows what he's up to these days.
I love you giving them backstories.
Probably a what?
a slick cat. Tino,
okay. That's what I thought you said. I thought I said.
Oh, boy. And we have another fan favorite here, Jimmy the Jew.
I wonder what background he is.
Yeah, who knows? Couple of others. Big Joe, maybe him and Big John are probably the guys watching the door. And I like this one right here, Joey Glasses. You know, I mean, has he been in glasses since he was a kid? You know, where are they going with that? Also,
and this is the best one.
Yeah.
This is by far the best one. Paulie roast beef.
So here's my question. Paulie roast beef, by the way, is the best mob nickname you could ever have. So, and I don't even think it would work with other like first names.
No.
Like Mattie roast beef doesn't work.
No.
Nope.
Like Derek roast beef doesn't work. Ryan roast beef, no way. Paulie roast beef. It just has a nice ring to it.
I think what would make this even more special if he was a butcher. I swear.
I mean,
That'd
we don't
be
know.
great.
I mean,
That would be great
why
to
don't
know.
we? You gave the other guys backstories. Why don't we just give that guy? So here's my. So this is. It's always fun to see this, and always like in Goodfellas and like A Bronx Tale. Everybody has nicknames.
Yep.
Like all these mob
Yeah.
guys.
Gotta.
So what would be your mob nickname?
I think they would have to call me Derek Diapers, because I make everybody shit their pants.
Okay.
Derek Diapers. I mean, that one for me.
So you're going with the alliteration, DD?
Yeah.
Okay.
DD.
Right, that's an alliteration.
Yeah.
Okay. I always get those confused.
I think
Ryan,
it is.
You
Ryan,
can
did
call
you,
me Little Derek Diapers. I'll even take that.
I also before Ryan, before you say yours, I want to talk about Big John versus Big Joe.
Yeah.
So those two names, right? Both I bet both those guys are big for very different reasons. I bet one guy is just a fat like
enormous
guy, and the other guy is actually like maybe like very strong. And you can always tell, like even though they're basically the same nicknames, pretty much. Like I picture Big John being the strong one and Big Joe just being the kind of like he's just big.
Big Joe strikes me as someone who's just is kind of rolling around, puttering. Maybe he's like he's a smart guy, or he's just been around so long they just keep him around, but he doesn't really serve a purpose. That's who he strikes me as.
Yeah,
They probably have to kick a little bit up to him, so he doesn't wring their neck. He's at
He'd
the
be like a
stage of his
seal.
life.
Yeah, it's like Vito from Sopranos.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Hey, maybe he has all Vito's qualities.
Maybe. Oh well. So Ryan, what would be your
I think I would go with Ryan Two Thumbs.
Ryan Two Thumbs? I like it.
There you go.
I like it.
So one, it's a factual nickname. I have two thumbs, and two, when I have to collect, I go after the thumbs. I turn you back into a different. The main difference between humans and other animals, they don't have thumbs. So I take away your opposable thumbs, you're just a house cat.
What's your weapon of choice with taking out those thumbs?
A hammer.
The hammer?
Yeah, actually, a funny story. I did the lawn before this, and I shaved my beard, but my hair's still really long. So for my mailbox, it's like a plastic hollow mailbox. So I have a 2x4 that I bang into the ground with the hammer, and then I put the mailbox on top so it stays sturdy. So after I finished all the yard work, I went in my house and got the hammer, and I'm walking towards the mailbox, and my neighbor's watering the grass. And I'm just walking towards him with the hammer. I must have looked insane. He just it's like, oh boy, hope he stops the mailbox.
What I do this time?
Hey,
This is it.
This
Ryan
is-
snapped.
lawn.
So I'm going along with the alliteration as well, like you, Derek. I'm going with Mattie Meatballs.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I just want to be
like
like
it.
the. I mean, I also want to be involved, with all the happenings of organized crime. Because if you're gonna be in the mob, you might as well go all in. But I also want to be the guy that does the food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guy that feeds everybody.
That's
Everybody
what you have
likes
to do.
me.
Yeah. I think that suits you well.
Yeah. So
Too bad your name's not Henry.
I know.
Henry Hot Dog.
Henry Hot Dog. Ryan, you stole the words right out of my mouth. I knew exactly where you were going with that. Henry Hot Dog. That would have been it. My true love, hot dogs.
I think that.
Well, you're actually not involved in the mob. You just hot dog.
It's this guy. He has a hot dog cart. He just kind of hangs out over there. He has sauerkraut, but he really hates it and it makes him sick. But he eats it. I don't understand.
Sounds weird. Can't figure it out.
Mattie Meatballs, would your trademark be to leave a meatball sandwich on the chest of the supposed body?
Maybe just one single meatball.
One single meatball?
Like from Wedding Singer when she puts the meatballs in his hands. I carry around a pot and I just scoop one out nice and messy
Crock
and I
pot
just
in the front seat.
and I just stick
Yeah.
it right on the chest of my victim.
Hey, that's a hell of a calling
Let
card.
him know. Let him know what time it is.
Would you take a bite?
I guess it
Then
depends.
leave
It depends on how I was feeling at that point.
Okay.
And obviously, my mob hangout. I don't know if, as Mattie Meatball, I don't think I'd be the leader of any mob, but
I don't think so.
but I think that if I were to be in a mob, I'd like my mob hangout to be some kind of delicatessen, like you know, a deli. You know,
Yeah.
that's like the classic, like you know, like the meat market and the Sopranos, and
Oh yeah.
so yeah. What about you guys?
For me, I think it would be maybe like a barbershop kind of deal.
Ooh, that's a good one. Barbershop's a good one.
I'd go vintage barbershop.
Okay.
And then I have something going on in the basement. We'd have some $1,000 hand card games.
Okay. All right.
I'd have one guy
I'll
working
be specific.
on slicing the provolone. Handing that out.
Okay.
Little antipasto.
That's perfect.
While they play. Yeah, that'd be my
perfect.
kind of ordeal. How about you, Ryan?
Flower shop.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Oh.
That's.
You know what?
I think.
I
that's-
love the guy in the town.
Yes.
The floor.
And
Yep.
honestly, I mean, now having my own house, it's nice to go and garden and water. It's kind of a little relaxing. Sun's going down, you water the plants, do that type of stuff. I mean, I think I'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think I'd enjoy it too much to where I just stop doing mob stuff and I just become a florist. And I have to stop people from coming in and be like, I told you I'm out of the mob.
That's a good one. Florist is a really good one.
I think that all the people in your mob should have the flower, the same color flower.
Oh, on like
the
their
chest,
the
on the suit
lapel?
jacket.
the
On
lapel, yeah.
That's how they identify us.
It's a really good one.
Yeah.
And of course, obviously, you have to leave the rose of the scene, right?
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Desert Rose.
Desert Rose. So that was a fun little addition.
I like
I'm
that.
glad you sent that thing over. Holy fucking roast beef, man.
I can't get over that. That's amazing.
Speaking to someone who's not clever at all with words, Donald Trump, the president of the United States, he sent out a tweet last night. Ryan, what was the tweet?
So the tweet was something along the lines of the fake news, the fake media are giving me terrible news coverage, something like that.
Yeah.
And instead of putting coverage, you put Covfeef. Covfefe. Then he apparently went to bed because the tweet remained.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, it just stayed up until about 6 a.m. when he must have woke up, and then someone told him to delete it. And then he tweeted again saying, Covfeef, figure out what it means or whatever.
Doubling down. Just absolutely doubling down.
Because you can't just say, hey, I made a typo. I mean, the only thing is, if this is Donald Trump 10 years ago and he writes that, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
a celebrity television host. He's a real estate mogul, whatever. It's funny. He's coming back. He's making a light of it. This is the president of the United States. This is the most powerful person in the world. So it's kind of alarming that he's tweeting that right before he goes to bed, then just leaves it up
Yeah.
for 6 hours. And now people are defending him, saying, yes, it's a real word. It's like, I hate this world. It's just too much. It is.
Although there was a lot on the internet and a lot on Twitter specifically, that made me have faith in this world because there's just hilarious memes left and right.
Yeah.
Did you see there was one with people jumped right on it, and I must have been the same guy. They created this Twitter account. It's like the Wizard of Kofi.
Yeah, I did see that.
And
Yeah.
and they're arguing back and forth in his timeline.
Yeah.
Like, you have summoned me. No, you have summoned me.
Yeah. It's really funny.
My favorite's the one I put in our document. Her Twitter handle is Rump Shaker. I think her name is Shakur Rump or something. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. But she did it based on a Stefan line from SNL.
Yes.
I loved it, and it says New York's hottest nightclub is Covfeef. It has everything: Russian entanglements, spray tans, creepy handshakes, surprise trade wars.
I
just
that.
pictured Bill Hader saying that.
Yeah.
I think it's hysterical.
I didn't. I until I opened up the document just a little while ago. I didn't know that it was that thing from SNL. But as soon as I started reading it, I all of a sudden heard Bill Hader's voice in my head as Stefan, and I'm like, oh my god.
She included a GIF of Stefan in the tweet. It was really funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, obviously you could talk about Trump all day, but I mean that's just odd.
And then so Trump doubles down, and then his press secretary Sean Spicer doubles down. He says, well, only him and the select few people know that. Who? Idiots? Just a bunch of idiots all sitting around.
It's not a word.
It's not
say
a
it's
word. Just say it's a misspelling. Why do we have to take it to these levels?
I don't understand.
It's so ridiculous.
Don't you think by now that there's somebody out there that should be like monitoring, helping him with like Twitter?
I don't think he'll allow it at this point. I mean,
You know?
obviously.
So
Because-
please just help him out.
He has like an official. They have a Twitter account that's run by a staff. It's at POTUS, like at POTUS.
Yeah.
And that's the one where he'll come out and do like Happy Memorial Day and all that type of stuff. But his actual Twitter account, you can tell it's written by him because it's just there's misspellings everywhere.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of again, it's alarming.
As a rule, I usually enjoy when I find out or I know that celebrities and like famous people do their own Twitter accounts. This is the one exception.
Yeah.
I'm like, please, just stop. Just hand it off to somebody else. Please.
And it's not like he doesn't have like enough to do.
Yeah, I know. You're the president. You don't need to be tweeting it. However, what time did he tweet this? Like super late.
After midnight.
Yeah. I know everybody was saying it was a drunk tweet. Whether it is or not, it has that label. It is a drunk tweet.
You know why I never trusted him? He doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink.
Doesn't drink.
Not even a drop on the golf course? That's shocking to me.
Nope. You can't trust somebody like that.
Yeah, you're right. You absolutely can't trust somebody like that. Nope.
I understand people who they've had an addiction and you want to stop, but I've never read anything about that with him. He just doesn't drink. All he does is eat shitty food and tweet late at night.
Well, while we can't look to our president for any kind of motivation here in these trying times in our world, we can look to the cinema.
We can.
Because Wonder Woman's coming out this week, and that's fantastic. But unfortunately, there's some place in the world that do not want to see Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. It's unfortunate.
And I was actually a little relieved when I looked into it, because when I saw, like, of course, the main tweet is Wonder Woman banned in Lebanon. Like, they don't give you any details on it.
Yeah.
But Gal Gadot, the actress, is from Israel.
Yes, she's Israeli.
And
yeah.
Since Lebanon is at war with Israel, they consider, and I think it's every Israeli citizen has to sign up for or serve in the army at some point.
Yeah.
So
she was in the army for 2 years.
right? So
Yeah.
Lebanon considers her an Israeli soldier or a former Israeli soldier, which she was,
Yeah.
and that's why they're banning it. But they were saying they literally were planning on showing it in like 18 theaters in the entire country.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lebanon doesn't strike me as like a big movie country.
Yeah, no, maybe not. They might not even know what Wonder Woman is, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. But the good news, and this is updated as of literally right now, 95% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with 109 reviews in, and
that's
103 of those are fresh, and 6 of those are rotten, and their want to see ratio is 99%.
That's
with
insane.
over
That's great.
2,000 users voting on it.
Wait,
it's
Ryan,
at
you
9.
just broke up a little bit. Repeat that?
Because they, how Rotten Tomatoes has like the want to see
Yes.
part. It's the percentage of users who want to see the movie. So there was almost 53,000 users voted, and it's a 99% want to see.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I know that it's beating out right now because I know The Dark Knight, which is regarded as one of the greatest live-action superhero movies of all time, is at 94%. So it's still beating out The Dark Knight, which is crazy.
I know. It did drop a percentage from when I did this afternoon.
Yeah. It was at 98% yesterday.
And you know what? The only thing that sucks is that gets out, and you're going to have people like with Get Out. When someone went and they wrote the negative review, and the negative review was from someone who clearly didn't watch the movie.
Yeah. It is unfortunate. And I know.
Have you seen Wonder Woman?
Yeah. Have I seen Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm planning on seeing it Friday, hopefully, if I get tickets. But it's awesome that it's doing this well. It sucks that it's banned in Lebanon, whatever, for their reasons. But then did we talk about last week? We talked about how the men only showing of it, the women only screening of it. Yeah, we talked about that already. But it's awesome. It's great. It's great to see that. I saw some tweets today. Patty Jenkins, the director of Wonder Woman, she also did The Hurt Locker.
Really?
Is that right? Patty,
No.
No. What else did she do?
That was Catherine Bigelow.
Oh, and I gotta look this up now.
That was the only reason I know is because I know James Cameron's wife did.
I gotta look this up now. But anyway, so there's this tweet out there, and they're basically like, somehow they found a way to like make it sound like they make this accomplishment sound less than what it is.
Yeah.
What was the? Oh, okay. So she directed the movie Monster.
Charlize Theron.
Yes. So, yes, and Christina Ricci. So she directed that, and it was like considered an indie movie. It was only like $5 million, but they were like Warner Brothers, DC, gambling on Patty Jenkins for gambling $170 million on Patty Jenkins when all she has is like this indie movie under her belt. And then they went through like James Gunn directed Guardians of the Galaxy 1. The only movie before that he directed was Slither, which was like $9 million, and Guardians was like over $100 million. And they gave a few other examples. It was just stupid phrasing of a headline, like just to grab attention.
I saw Mike Schur kind of like not came to a rescue, but basically pointed out like, so what? He's the guy who created Parks and Rec. Ken Tremendous is his Twitter account.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, he was like, James Gunn had something, and then the guy who did Jurassic Park too. Before that, he had his movie was like a $7 million budget. It's like you didn't see any things of, the studios going out on a limb with them.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, just we don't need that shit.
It would be really awesome if this really kicks off the DC movies, because so far they've been, as far as critics ratings go, they've been pretty bad. So it would be kind of cool to see like Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins kind of give some momentum to DC, when people are so quick to write off female directors and female leads.
Good point.
So I think that would be really cool. But
I just wanted to chime in with you guys and ask you. I know like Rotten Tomato has been under some criticism lately with some of their reviews of movies. Do you guys usually like go right to that website to look at reviews of movies, or do you guys like shop around for reviews, or kind of go to the movies without looking at Rotten Tomato? Just kind of want to get your
what do you think, Ryan?
Input on that.
I honestly, if I want to see a movie, I just go see it. The only time I use Rotten Tomatoes is if I'm looking for like something like this, where you want to throw some stats at people. But if I see a trailer that I like, I'm going to go see the movie. I don't care if it has 0% on every critic. I'm partial to certain actors and actresses, and to a lesser extent directors, but there's never been a time where I've wanted to see a movie and I haven't seen it because of critics. Because you know what? If you read some critics' reviews, they're examining things that I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. I mean, half of the experience for me is being in the theater. Once you're there and you're watching it on the big screen, unless it really is bad, then I'm enjoying myself. I mean, there's some I like better than others, but yeah, I would never not see a movie based on a critic's thing, because everybody's different. It's
right.
When you're judging art, I mean, I compare it to a lesser extent to wrestling a lot of times, where people, you're like, oh, that match stunk, or that episode of Raw stunk, or whatever. It's like, yeah, but it's so hard to because you're not looking at it through the same eyes. It's the same thing with music. It's the same thing with movies and TV shows. It's just different. So I would shy away from, if I was someone, ever not seeing it because someone else didn't like it, because who knows what the similarities are.
I feel the same exact way, Ryan. I mean, I will never not see a movie that I'll never shy away from a movie because it has a bad Rotten Tomatoes score. I think Rotten Tomatoes score, I don't like Rotten Tomatoes at all, except for looking back and looking at things like this, like seeing what movies got in scores. I take them with a grain of salt. But I think that Rotten Tomatoes a lot of times will destroy a movie.
Yeah.
If you look back, the past few years, even in the last maybe 5 or 6 years, whenever a movie gets reviewed ahead of time and it starts getting bad Rotten Tomatoes scores, it can absolutely stop a movie in its tracks. It'll go nowhere, and it sucks because a lot of people will just be like, "Oh, it's getting bad reviews, I'm not going to see it," and that's it. And it's unfair because maybe that person would have enjoyed that movie, but now they'll never see it.
Right.
Because of that bad Rotten Tomatoes score. So I always tell people, and we preach this on Make Movies Great Again, I preach that if you want to see a movie, go see it. Don't let anybody else's opinion have effect on what you enjoy or what you will enjoy. So,
yeah, I recently had kind of done this. I was at the theater and I saw that trailer for that movie Sleepless with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And awesome trailer. I was so hyped sitting in the movie theater, and I'm like, I'm gonna go see that when it comes out. But I made a mistake. I went on Rotten Tomato. The critic score was a 22%, and the user score was a 41%. And
you
I
didn't
did not
go
go see it. I just strayed away from it. So I think I need to do a better job of just kind of, if I do enjoy the trailer, just going to see it and making my own opinion about it, because I could miss out on a really good movie from what the critics, had given it.
Right, because in a lot of the critics, like they'll not that they're wrong, but again, it's like I always have trouble saying right and wrong. Like someone could be like, that movie sucks. No, that movie doesn't suck. Maybe you don't like it. That doesn't mean the movie sucks. Like you can't. I don't like when people judge it based on good or bad. Like you can say I didn't like it or I did like it, but to just go and say a movie's bad, what are you basing that on? Like why is it bad? You can not like it, but there's a huge difference between saying something's bad and not liking it.
I've noticed that a lot of I've read a lot of these reviews over the last since I've known about Rotten Tomatoes. A lot of it ends up being like on Twitter, how when a story breaks, someone wants to be the first person with a clever tweet.
Yep.
And so the same thing goes for movie reviews. They want to come up with a clever clever line or whatever, so they can kind of distinguish themselves from the other movie critics or whatever. So it kind of sucks. They use it as as a ground to prove themselves. But a perfect example is a couple weeks ago when King Arthur came out. I saw it in theaters and I enjoyed it. It wasn't the greatest movie I ever saw. It wasn't even probably the greatest King Arthur story I've ever saw. But I like Charlie Hunnam and I like Guy Ritchie, and so I wanted to go see it. And I thought it was really good. It got a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is really bad. And that was they gave the score. It got lower. I think it was at 30 when it hit theaters. It destroyed its box office numbers. Nobody went to go see it because of that.
Yeah, I think nowadays too, everybody we're so systemized. We look at reviews for everything, and if it doesn't get a good review, we don't try it out. Yeah. And back in the day, they didn't have this review system. You kind of you tried the restaurant because you wanted to be curious about it and give it a shot. But I think
were less. There was, back then too, that movies, there was a big movie that came out a year.
Yeah. No, true. But I think that we're all kind of just following others and not following our heart. Not following what we want to do because it's not. It didn't get a good rating. So I think that you could both make a really good point, and I think that if you have your heart set on watching a movie, grab your popcorn, your slushie, and make sure you sit front row.
Yep.
And I appreciate my friends' opinions on stuff because I know them more than I would know some random critic on Twitter. If Matt likes a movie and he tells me why he liked it, and that's why I like movies, okay, then I'm probably gonna go see it, and vice versa. Yeah. If he's that movie wasn't good because I didn't like that movie because blah blah blah, I'd be like, yeah, well that's actually a movie I'm not interested in either. That's different than just going off of some person you've never met who said the movie's bad. I could never not see a movie because of that. I don't know. But.
Well, luckily Wonder Woman's getting all types of good reviews and a lot of praise, so I think it's going to do very well in its first weekend at the box office. So which is good, which is great.
Yep. I agree.
So I'm a big fan of Gal Gadot as a person as well. I think she's awesome in all the interviews I've seen her in. She seems like a good person, so that's always good to see that happen to good people. So
I think she appreciates the role.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
You can tell that in a person.
Yep. So, and not to go too much more on this, but I think she knows what it means to little girls and I mean, and people in general, across the board, kind of, I don't know, just defying the odds, breaking the glass ceiling, all those metaphors. But I think she knows what it means to some people.
She almost reminds me of almost like a woman wrestler. You know what I mean? They appreciate
someone to look up
their shot to be there and what they do for the even like you said, the little girls, they look up to them, and that's kind of what she represents.
Yeah, and hopefully it signals a change in the industry as well.
Hope so. Yeah, you can touch a lot of gratitude, a lot of humility. I mean, it's those are nice qualities to see in people like that, especially when she's obviously going to be a huge influence. Wonder Woman, that's as big as it gets for a female character. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. Yeah, that's the pinnacle. Superhero character at least. But, yeah. So, all right, let's break right into TV Club. right now. So we're gonna talk about Better Call Saul. We'll talk about American Gods. Let's start with Better Call Saul. So we found out the origin of Saul Goodman.
We did.
Yep.
It's so funny. It was so like because it was not last week, two episodes ago, right? I think it was.
Yes, it was 2 episodes ago. Yeah.
And they just kind of brushed past it.
Yes.
But it's such a like Jimmy McGill type of thing.
Yeah.
You know? Saul Goodman.
Yeah. I know it was so good. Yeah. I loved it. I didn't expect it because you're right. It was so like casual, but it's like everybody's like dying to know how he gets, how he becomes Saul Goodman. So. I thought that was really cool. I think he's such an interesting character because of how much, like, even though he's slipping Jimmy and he has that history to him, it's really interesting to me like how gung ho he gets for certain things, and how he is a hard worker to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
He almost works harder to take the easier way out. You know what I mean?
Yes. He's not smart about it.
He goes through all like when they had the trial with him and his brother. We went through all this to get his brother's like ex-wife to come in and hire Huel to put the battery in his pocket, and like I mean that's like clever stuff, but he's working really hard in the wrong direction. Like that type of those type of moves are going to land him into Saul Goodman, not into being this like esteemed lawyer.
Yes.
So
yeah. I'm really interested to see what happens between him and Kim.
That's what's like baffling me because in the most recent episode, which they didn't have one on Monday because of the holiday, but he's kind of now after the trial, I think he's going head first down this path.
Yeah.
Turning into Saul Goodman, and it's clear that it's weighing on Kim a lot more than it's weighing on him. It might be weighing on him. I think it always will.
Yeah.
What he did to his brother, but I think he's past the phase of showing it, on the exterior.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm full steam ahead now, where she's clearly still struggling with it, and I think, that's gonna end up breaking them because she wants to be a lawyer. I mean, she's amazing. She's an amazing lawyer.
Yeah.
But it's too bad because that woman's a great actress.
Yep. And I think that, like how you're saying that, how he did all that just to get his brother, to show his brother and kind of get off scot-free, but not totally scot-free. But I think that in the malpractice insurance office, when he's talking with that lady about getting a refund on his insurance, I think when he breaks down and starts when he's crying and talking about his brother and how he took care of him, and then his brother just wanted to he just hates him and things like that. I think some of that was sincere. Even though I know he was trying to, tip them off that he's might be crazy.
I think it was sincere, but he's also seeing the impact it can have on, selfishly when he does things like that.
Yeah.
And it's definitely fighting an internal battle within himself because he's not all bad. I mean, we've seen him do too many good things.
Yeah.
For him to just be this rotten person, he's not like a Hector Salamanca, who's just an evil person who's selfish and only wants to get his way. I mean, he has those traits to him, but there's another part of him that, the way he treats Kim, the way he treated his brother for so long. But then it's like once you kind of do something iffy against him, the teeth come out, and it's not a pretty sight.
Yeah.
And that's when the selfishness comes in.
Speaking of Hector, so do we kind of see now? Do we see a little foreshadowing to see how Hector is the way he is in Breaking Bad?
It must be because of the pills, right? He just stops taking them.
I assume, right? I'm assuming he has a stroke or something, right?
Yeah. Because it doesn't seem like he has a physical disability. Because it seems more like a physical disability. Where it would seem like a stroke because you can tell in his eyes the fire's still there and he wants to just be the normal person.
Yeah.
We saw him in Breaking Bad, but he just physically can't. So.
Yeah. And like we were trying to figure out in the first few TV Club episodes, we don't really know the exact time frame, how far along
right
Bryan Cranston and Jesse Pinkman come along, Walter and Jesse come along, but he's very decrepit in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, he's been that way for a while.
Yeah.
In the wheelchair.
So that's going to be very interesting. But I assume that the ball's already started rolling with what is his guy's name? His man's name? Yeah, him trying to get the pills, the empty shells for the pills.
again, I just love they cover all their. Not that I'm that type of person who's going to go back and look and be try to fill in plot holes, but they cover all their bases. Like that's a totally logical move for a son whose father is clearly an immigrant, started this decent business. It's profitable doesn't mean anything. It's clean. It's an honest living.
Yeah.
And now Hector wants the father to be involved in the drug trade, so the son has to protect the father by, taking away he can't kill him, like Mike says.
Yes.
And of course, Mike is just the smarest guy.
Oh my God.
In television.
Mike is the best. He knows right away what's going on. He knows instantly when he finds what's his name, the guy who's like the pushover white guy who I don't even know his name.
I forgot his character's name, but yeah glasses and.
As soon as he explains it to Mike, he knows exactly what's going on and he wants in.
Yep.
He wants in.
I love it. And you know what? We've seen enough of Mike throughout Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul where him figuring it out that quick makes sense. That's his character.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like lazy writing where he just figures it out. It's like, no, this is who this guy is.
Yes.
This is the guy who reads Handyman magazine while he's working in a parking booth so he can fix a door. Like, I don't know. I mean, they cover their bases. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And they have such an interesting span of characters. Like, Nacho is his name? The guy?
Yeah, the associate to Hector.
Yeah. He's one of those characters where he's clearly a villain. He's a dick, but they make him so lovable. Lovable. Like you feel empathy towards him because of he doesn't want to fuck his dad over. He knows it would go bad for his dad. And you have to understand at that level. Like you couldn't understand being a drug dealer, you know what I mean, and roughing up people because they don't give you all the money that month. But you can understand that.
Right.
And there's characters across the board. There's characters you just hate, like Hector. You just hate Hector. At least in Better Call Saul, you just hate him so far. And then there's guys you love. There's guys you have mixed feelings about. It's across the board. It's amazing. The character development in this show is amazing.
It runs the spectrum.
It really does. So I'm pissed they took off Memorial Day. So pissed.
What the hell's I mean, come on.
It's a TV show. It's not like they're filming it live. It's not like they have to send everybody home for Memorial Day.
Well, I think I'm assuming they do it for ratings. It's
I guess.
Memorial Day is not exactly like a sit-home holiday.
Yeah, but I think they need to realize that they have fans that they know that are going to watch it. This transcends holidays.
Yeah, come on. TV Club transcends holidays.
This is ridiculous. Speaking of transcending,
Jesus.
American Gods. I love this show. I do. Let's get that out of the way. This show is amazing. It's amazing.
I can't get enough.
It constantly changes what I think the show is about. I'm constantly being led in a different direction.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's tough to even describe. There's just so many things happening.
So since the last time we talked, Shadow's wife is dead. Yeah. So since it's the last time, I'm just kind of trying. We saw the Indian guy, the salesman, have a lot of gay sex with a cab driver who had fire, just so much penis.
He was a god, right?
Yeah, I got to assume he was a god.
Fire in his eyes.
So now you're kind of seeing these couple episodes since then, you kind of see the struggle between the new. You kind of see there's a battle between the new and old gods.
Yes.
Laura Moon is now alive.
Yep.
She goes to the the purgatory where that guy kind of is gonna weigh her heart, and she's such a badass. She's just nope, you're not fucking weighing my heart. I'm not done here. And then for some odd reason, she gets sucked back to reality. So what do you think that's all about?
I was trying to think of it, and it's not necessarily it doesn't strike me as a religious type of show. I mean, it's obviously fantasy, but I was trying to think of it in terms of religion, Christianity religion.
Yeah.
But it's not really like that, so I don't know if it's something where, because in religion, you have your judgment day. When you supposedly reach purgatory, it's judgment day, and they weigh your heart against the feather, and maybe whoever this higher power is or whatever is able to transport these people between purgatory and life didn't think her story was was told yet, or didn't think she was done yet, where maybe it wasn't fair to weigh her heart against the feather when her heart wasn't done doing what it was supposed to do. You know, that type of thing?
Sure.
Because obviously at that point, you're dying with his best friend's dick in your mouth. Your heart's probably going to be pretty heavy.
Yes.
You're not beating a feather at that point.
Yes.
But
so,
if she
speaking
comes back,
sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but best friend being Dane Cook. How about that?
yes.
How about that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, it's just that's like just probably the smallest curveball they've thrown, but it's still insane.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell is Dane Cook in this insane show?
I don't know.
And I've enjoyed him so far too.
Yeah, me too.
But I think that she got taken back to kind of not necessarily right any wrongs, but just live the rest of whatever life she was supposed to have. And it seems like she's doing the right thing. I mean, she stopped him from being lynched by the
technology, Mr. Technology, right? Or the technology boy is his name.
Apparently, is not powerful at all.
No. So clear something up for me if you can.
Yeah.
So if someone else decided that she's not done on, if that's what we're going with, because that sounds right. If someone decided she wasn't done on Earth, then that guy that also took that little old lady up to purgatory is just the Grim Reaper. He's just doing a job.
Yeah, I think he's like a messenger, Grim Reaper type person.
Okay, so he just does his job and that's it. Like okay.
Like he seems like it's almost like they give him like an assignment, like, hey, you got to be here at this time and get them, and that's why I think he looked so shocked when she got sucked back.
Yes.
Because that clearly hadn't happened before, but which leads me to believe that it obviously wasn't his decision. Yes. Like he's not the one who sent her back.
Yeah.
Because when he looked, he's like, "What the hell?" I'm sure he's seen a lot of things as the Grim Reaper, but that shocked him.
And as soon as it happened, and she crawls out of the grave, the first thing I'm thinking of is, and this is how good this show is. The first thing I'm thinking of is I'm like, she definitely has autopsy scars. So if they don't show that, that's bullshit. She's definitely gonna have all types of shit inside of her from when she was embalmed. So if they don't show her like throwing that up or something, like obviously this is very suspended in fantasy. So we'll start with that. But it's just like those little things, like the whole time how she was shitting and throwing up the
embalming fluid.
Yeah, embalming fluid.
Yeah.
Sorry if anybody's eating. And she has like the giant scar down her chest and everything. Like what? It's just such an intense. It's so intense. Everything is very, very intense.
It's like a ride. Like a lot of shows I can just watch.
Yeah.
This show, I kind of gotta like, all right, get ready, Ryan. Like, get yourself in the right frame of mind. I really I can't just watch it. I have to get myself in the frame of mind, or else I'm my head's out of it.
I let out audible "what the hells" probably 15 times an episode. Like, what the hell is that? What the hell is going on? What the hell? She's carrying her arm and she's covered in blood. How fucking awesome was that scene?
That was the coolest visual. I don't want to say the coolest, but one of the coolest visuals. Just like casually strolling down the street, holding her arm in her hand.
She's such a badass too. She completely owns up to her. I thought it was interesting too. Like she owns up to, like, what she did. She cheated on her husband and whatever. And I think it was cool how she said she lied. She thought she was truthful, very truthful. She said that when she said it to him when he went to jail, that she could wait for him. She was telling the truth then, but then somewhere along the line it changed.
She's very honest.
Very honest. Very honest. So.
And I know her from.
I was trying to think. I don't know if I remember her from any. Oh, you know what she is from? I think if you look it up right now, I bet is she in Sucker Punch? Now I need to know. Yes. All right. And I don't even know her name in Sucker Punch, but she's great. I still can't get over how good is his name Ricky Whittle? Ricky Whittle? The Shadow Moon?
Yes.
He's so good. He's awesome. He plays, I mean, it's really, if you think of it, like boil it down, he's really the straight man to Mr. Wednesday's, goofy man. What is it? The straight and what's the other one? Straight and whatever. He's the straight man, and Mr. Wednesday's the other one.
Right. Yeah, I don't know the saying.
The Abbott to his Costello. You know what I mean? Like that type of shit. He's great. He's such a good actor.
Grounded.
What?
He keeps it grounded.
Yes, totally.
Because everyone else is doing this insane shit, and he's just kind of like. I mean, I think he handles it as well as because at first I'm like, oh, this guy is just kind of, going along with it. Like they're skipping parts. He should have had this. But I'm like, you know what? Not really.
No.
This universe, it makes sense for him to just be like, look, I'm an ex-con. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to go out, probably get in trouble again. My girlfriend's dead, or my wife was dead, who she was hooking up with my best friend. Like, what else is he going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, why not? If I was in that scenario and Mr. Wednesday came up to me, I'd be like, you goddamn right. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, fine.
I like the side story of Mad Sweeney looking for his coin and how he's waiting for Laura Moon to basically decompose until he can get it back.
Pablo Schreiber he's so good.
He's so good. What a funny character. What a funny character.
If you like him as an actor, he's basically the main character in season 2 of The Wire.
Really?
Yeah, he plays Nicky Sabaka.
Okay.
Is it Nicky? Yeah, because it's Frank is the uncle. Because each season of The Wire is almost its own show. I mean, they have characters that go throughout. But yeah, he's like the main character in The Wire. He's a great actor, and he's great in Orange Is the New Black too, as Porn Stash.
Yep.
And he was good in that. I don't know if you saw 13 Hours.
No, I haven't seen it yet. Lindy wants me to watch it though. She said it's good.
It's very good. It's him, John Krasinski. Who else is in it? There's a couple other guys in it, but yeah, he's really good in that too. He's a very good actor.
Yes, he absolutely is. What did you think about the scene at the police station?
Well, I mean, it was insane.
I just want to I just want to like quickly preface this with, so Crispin Glover is Mr. World, and he's first of all he has an amazing costume for this show. Like it's just like the big overcoat and the hat, and just like the way his whole getup is just amazing. As gods go, like that's how all my gods look. Like it looked like Mr. World.
It's classy as hell.
Crispin Glover, the director of this show, not Crispin Glover, but when the director of this show and the casting people met Crispin Glover, they said that their interaction with him, he was like in character, was exactly how this scene went.
Oh, that's terrifying.
And so yeah. So they were saying that this scene, a lot of it was based off of his interview for this, his audition for American Gods. So keep that in mind.
Because you know what I was thinking is like the casting agents must have like just like a Rolodex with like, all right, we need someone who's terrifying yet talented yet. I mean, he's like, if you make George McFly kind of seem creepy, you have some fun, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, so to me, Mr. World has been the most powerful god we've met.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody's scared of him, right? Everybody kind of fears him.
Yeah, like if Mr. Wednesday fears you,
yes,
you're kind of a badass.
Yeah. So far, Mr. Wednesday's had everybody's number. Like he knows what the deal is. Like whether you're powerful or not. Like even the guy with the hammer. Like he knows how to navigate around these people. But Mr. World, not so much.
He was not happy to see Mr. World.
No, was not happy. And he was like, Shadow, don't talk to him. Like, do not even look. Don't even look at him. That whole interaction when they were separated and like Mr. Wednesday was just playing stupid with the police officer was so funny. Ian McShane is such a good actor. I love that this show is really giving him a chance for like more people to understand his brilliance.
He was amazing in Deadwood. I really loved him in that. He was great in Ray Donovan with Pablo Schreiber's brother, Liev Schreiber, which is on Showtime. He's amazing in that. Game of Thrones, he was just so underutilized. They really, I can't imagine they couldn't have found a better role for him than that. Than just to get killed right away.
It's too bad.
But, I mean, it is what it is. But I read a good article where they asked him about the Game of Thrones thing, and he's like, there's no such thing as a small part. He's like, a lot of people look at the audition as the audition. The role is the audition. Like, if you nail your role like he did in Deadwood, like he did in Ray Donovan, I mean, there's a reason he's in American Gods because of his prior work.
That's so smart. That's such a smart thing to say.
Yeah. It's just an amazing, outlook on what you're doing, and it shows that he's very well prepared. He's awesome. I mean, I'm excited every time he comes up on screen. He's very good.
Yeah. So we're kind of so you got Media, who is what is her name? Oh God. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you have Media, you have Mr. World, you have is Technology Boy, Tech Boy. What is his name?
I think his name is Technology Boy.
Technology Boy. And then so we've met the Russian guy who kills cows with a hammer. It's interesting. Interesting god. So now we're starting to like see a small piece of the bigger picture. The old gods versus the new gods. So obviously Mr. World is an old god, I would say.
Yeah.
And Media is kind of a new god. Technology Boy is a new god, and obviously Mr. Wednesday is an old god, along with I don't know if the three sisters are gods or not, or they're part of the mythology as well. And then the Russian guy who kills cows with the hammer is also an old god, I would assume.
I'm excited to see, like, I guess Orlando Jones, he's Mr. Nancy.
Yeah, I mean, we only saw a quick piece of him.
And Easter is Kristen Chenoweth's character.
Yes, which I'm sure she will kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. So yeah, I'm interested to see how Mr. Nancy fits, because Mr. Wednesday, he talked about Mr. Nancy for a second. He said, I don't know what the line was. Do you remember?
Was it last episode?
I think it was the most recent episode. I think it was when they were in the police station.
No, I didn't catch it.
He said something, and he said something about Nancy, and then I was like, who is Mr. Nancy? Like, because I had forgotten, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, Orlando Jones. But so it's there's a lot going on. There's a lot. There's a dead wife that's decomposing, like running around, and she has like apparently she can see just Shadow Moon, like the light from him. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she definitely seems like she's on some type of mission now that she's back.
Yeah, and I guess she's on borrowed time.
I think she's on borrowed time. I think it's whoever is making these decisions, throwing her to purgatory, taking her back, is waiting until he deems her necessary to actually go and be judged. Yeah. So
they also Mr. World showed a lot of respect for Mr. Wednesday.
He did.
And I don't know if that was kind of like getting him to like, coaxing him over to the other side, like to like one side of the war or not, or to like kind of get him on his good side. But also, I think there's a lot to Mr. Wednesday that we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, because I think he's a god. I think he is, right?
He seems like an old god that somehow has been, I don't know. He just seems like he's too involved in the new, like in the actual universe. You know what I mean? Like he was almost brought into being a new god. I don't know. He's the only one who seems like a hybrid to me.
Yeah. So and I'm interested to see like what god he is, like what his deal is, like what his background is. So, but this show is great. It's amazing.
It really is.
This is gonna be the next big show, I think.
Yeah, because I mean they already renewed it for season 2. I can't imagine. Like, how would you watch it from the first episode and not want to keep watching? Like, there's no. I just want to keep watching.
Yeah, I wish this was a Netflix show, so I can watch it straight through and then be sad when it's over.
That's what I'm going through right now. I'm watching Bloodline and House of Cards, the newest seasons. It's just like you can't help yourself. Like on a night like tonight, I'll just go through a couple episodes and. Before you know it, you're done, and then you got to wait a whole nother year.
I got to catch up on House of Cards. I haven't seen a second of House of Cards yet.
Well, if you do that or Bloodline, I mean, really anything. But we have Saul. I think Better Call Saul has 2 or 3 episodes left, and so does American Gods. But that's probably going to run us right into Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones and Orange Is the New Black will pick up right along the way too.
Yeah, Orange Is the New Black comes back. My birthday next Friday.
Whoa! Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent.
I'm gonna watch it in the nude for my birthday.
Hey, it's your birthday. You can do what you want to.
Exactly. That's what I told the people at the McDonald's with free internet.
Oh God, Ryan, you can't be here for this. Please leave. Do this at your own house. You have Wi-Fi at home. All right. Well, Derek, I know you're off the mic now. Sorry, I hope we didn't bore you too much with the American Gods talk and. In Better Call Saul.
Sorry, I was just looking at some plans on the new barbershop I'm opening. I'm thinking about actually, coming up with some.
You thinking about actually doing it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. So if you guys want in, that'd be perfectly fine.
What, Derek Diapers?
Little Derek Diapers.
Little Derek Diapers.
Yeah, got small hands. It's...
Hey, let me know if you got room for Ryan Two Thumbs.
Oh, I have room for you. You could be one of the barbers, but you have to have the surgery where your hands are knives like Edward Scissorhands permanently.
Is that a surgery that they?
Is that a thing that normally happens?
Yes, I've seen it done in India. Yes.
Hey, Derek does work at a hospital, so
That's true.
Yeah,
You would know.
I have a lot of guys under the table that will do it. So.
oh god,
That's not
it
good.
went horribly wrong. Okay, all right, Ryan, thanks for being with us, everybody.
No problem. And hey, I mean, we're gonna continue doing American Gods and Better Call Saul. So any fans of either of those shows out there, let your voices be heard, whether it's on Twitter at Average Nobodies. We're always tweeting about TV Club, always tweeting about our opinions on the show, throwing out some new polls out there to see who your favorite character is. So we're going to try to come up with some more creative content for that. And leave a voicemail. It's so easy. 401-285-8120. Leave a voicemail with an opinion on Better Call Saul, with an opinion on American Gods. If you have a people watching story, if you want to tell us how your gout is doing, whatever you want to do, we're here to listen. We're here to respond. So leave us a voicemail. Get at us on Twitter. We're always around to get some good chatter going.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself.
From an outside user, I just wanted to let people listen in that, you can call, talk to these guys. They talk about anything, They're friends with me, so I talk about anything, gefilte fish, Just call in. That could be the topic of the week, So,
Maybe we could switch gefilte fish for an hour.
Yeah, I feel like we could definitely, talk about it and then maybe try some. So, who knows? Oh, Matt's throwing up in the garbage.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Take all Ryan's advice. Call in, and until next week, we'll see you guys and talk to you guys on the interwebs.
Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Good night.
See ya.